What is up, lads? It's CM9 here. Well, when one team drops the ball, the other one picks me up. What a response today, guys. What a response. 3-0 against Watford. And we definitely needed this because, you know, following the really lackluster 3-2 defeat in midweek against West Ham, and, you know, with Man United going 5-2 up against Bournemouth and winning there, and Leicester going 3-0 up against Crystal Palace and winning there, we really needed to win this because otherwise we would have really dropped down the places. So it's good that we've been able to get a victory on our belts, you know, under intense pressure, you know. So yeah, I'm ecstatic about this performance. I'm really pleased that we have been able to respond to that sort of defeat. And I've got to hand it to Frank Lampard and the players and the way they've reacted to that. And they've gone on the pitch and really given it their absolute all. So I'm fantastic reaction, fantastic response from the players. Now, 3-0 is against a Watford team today that was, you know, they definitely played like a team down at the bottom. They looked like a team that really was fighting for relegation. They were really scraping at the bottom of the barrel for chances and just, you know, we really dominated this game. I mean, it was a very slow game to begin with, but as the game went on, it looked as though we really started to look like the prime Chelsea that we come to expect. But like I said, Watford just looked very, very down and depressed and didn't really offer very much in terms of opportunities for themselves. I mean, yes, they had a few chances in the second half. Like the last 10 minutes, it looked as though they were looking to get, I mean, at 2-0 at least, they were trying to get a goal back to try and really give us a bit of a game. But other than that, it looked very, very simple and easy for us today. And then as soon as Barkley made it 3-0, that was pretty much it, game over. I mean, it could have even been 4 or 5, to be honest, with all the chances that we'd been having. I mean, there are some midfielders to pinpoint here that had a fabulous performance. Really, really good. And I'm going to sort of give you my insight on those. But I also want to talk about the defence as well. Much more solid. I mean, it just shows you because we got a clean sheet today. I mean, yeah, it's against Watford, but it's still a clean sheet. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more of. You compare this to the defending that we supposedly did against West Ham. Really lackluster, really poor, inept, just giving them way too many opportunities. I mean, Lampard made changes in this team. So what he did, he played Reece James at right back, Christensen stayed in, Kurt Zouma came back into the side, and Azpilicueta gets moved over to left back. So no Alonso, no Emerson, Azpilicueta plays at left back. We know how good Azpilicueta can play at left back, so that was a good move from Lampard. Kepa stayed in goal, and I'll tell you something, Kurt Zouma needs to start ahead of Rudiger. Period. 100%. There is nobody that can disagree with me on that. Rudiger needs to seriously be dropped. Maybe even be sold, because I'm not a big fan of Rudiger after that West Ham performance. Kurt Zouma looked so much more solid. Azpilicueta looked more solid at left back. Reece James had a bit of a slow start down the right side with Willian. Willian and Reece James had a bit of a misunderstanding at the beginning of that game, but like I said earlier, as the game went on, it looked more prime Chelsea. But Reece James, as the game went on, he made some great crosses into the box. Really, really good composure. But yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more from Reece James. I thought he really put in on a good performance. We now move on to the midfield. Barkley, Kante and Mason Mount. Mason Mount, man of the match, and rightly so. What a performance. The link-up play with him and Pulisic was fabulous. We need to do more of this. Mason Mount needs to be more involved. The way that he did today, the way that he dictated the game, the way that he created space for himself, the way that he was able to do everything. He was magnificent. Great performance. Mason Mount, pat on the back for him. N'Golo Kante, much better performance. The last couple of games that he's performed for Chelsea, he's been a little bit lackluster, especially against West Ham, where he got a little bit out of position a few times. But today he was much more solid, and I couldn't ask for anything more for N'Golo Kante. Ross Barkley, great performance. Fantastic. The way that he just holds up the ball, used his strength to his ability. Again, like Mason Mount, created space for himself and was that real man to just link up play between the midfield and the attack. And this is what I want to talk about in terms of midfield. these players need to perform. Because our midfield, especially the central part of our midfield, is really saturated with top-class performers. And Barkley and Mount really needed to show today that they have got plenty of ability in the tank to sort of offer Lampard a bit of a headache. So for Barkley and Mount to do that performance today, create themselves a lot of space and be that creative guy, to be that guy to surge forward and give those passes out to the strikers, was really paramount. Really paramount. And I was really pleased with both of them today. Absolutely fantastic. Olivier Giroud up front. Wonderful goal. Mount gave him I think it was Mount that gave him the assist, or maybe it was Barkley. I can't remember which. I think it was Mount. Great assist for Giroud. Cuts inside and then hits it into the bottom corner. There's something about Giroud that I really like. He hasn't complained about the lack of picks that Lampard's been given. I think Lampard's given a lot of opportunities to Tammy Abraham this season. And you'd think that somebody like Olivier Giroud that's been out of contention, he's not fussed about it. He's just got on with it. And he just wants to be there at Chelsea to allow for the young players to, for him to help them improve as players themselves and to sort of give them that link-up play and just to give them that experience to play with experienced players like Olivier Giroud. So I really like Giroud. He doesn't have a chance at Chelsea. He doesn't have an opportunity under Lampard. But when he does get a chance to play, he really does put in the effort. And I'm really pleased with the way that Olivier Giroud has just gone about his work and gone about his game in general, just his discipline and his, they're able to help the younger generation just play their game and improve them. I really like Giroud. So for him to be there is really good for us. Christian Pulisic, fabulous performance. Again, Christian Pulisic has been the standout player since the beginning of the restart. He has been exceptional. A lot of people have been saying that he is very likened to Eden Hazard, and he even said in the interview that he doesn't want to try and be like Eden Hazard. He just wants to be his own player. And that's a good response, actually. I really liked the way that he responded to that question. And he responded with that with a really, really good performance. Fabulous. He got inside the penalty box. He really gave Watford defence a bit of a headache. And that's exactly what I want to see from my attackers. So, fabulous again from Captain America. The American is just great. 4th of July, Independence Day. I mean, what more could you ask for from an American player? So, to all my Americans out there, happy 4th of July, happy Independence Day, and I hope Christian Pulisic, his performance really impressed you Americans today. So, you should be really proud of him today. Willian, good performance. He scored a penalty. I thought he was a little bit slow at the beginning, but he, again, like the rest of the players, he gradually got into the game as it went on. So, yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more from Willian. The substitutions, Tammy Abraham, Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi all came on together as substitutions. Just, wow. Made in Cobham, what can I say? Made in Chelsea, made by Frank Lampard. All 3 substitutions coming on. And Loftus-Cheek and Hudson-Odoi they didn't really do too much to wow a lot of people, but no, I'm not going to say that they didn't do enough to wow us, but they did enough to show how good they can really be. So, Hudson-Odoi, Loftus-Cheek, fantastic. Tammy Abraham did his job as well, so you couldn't ask for anything more. And Billy Gilmour came on. This was a bit of a surprise. Over Jorginho. What does this tell you about the fact that Lampard has so much faith in Billy Gilmour? Jorginho is going to start having a bit of a phone call to Juventus because I think he's going to want to go there. Do you know what I mean? I honestly think Billy Gilmour has got... Well, if Billy Gilmour has really proved that he can really... like I said earlier about the midfield position, people really need to perform. And Billy Gilmour's come on, and if Frank Lampard's got so much faith in him to say, look, get on the pitch and show me what you can do, ahead of Jorginho. You looked at his face after Billy Gilmour went on the pitch, and then Jorginho was like, yeah, he's going to want to go, right? He's going to want to leave for Juventus. Look, Jorginho has had his moments at Chelsea. He really has. He's had good games, he's had bad games. But like I said, it's the midfield position that is really saturated at the moment, and people are going to want to perform. And if Billy Gilmour is getting the nod over him, and Lampard's got a lot of faith in him, and Billy Gilmour is playing like a natural, Jorginho, you've got no chance, mate. You really haven't got a chance. You might as well go ahead and make that phone call to Juventus, because at this rate, he's not going to get an opportunity if you know, guys like Loftus-Cheek and Kovacic and Billy Gilmour and Barkley today and Mason Mount, if they're performing at the highest level with a massive response following that 3-2 loss against West Ham, Jorginho's got no chance. I've got to be honest, like, Jorginho is really not having an opportunity, I don't think. You know, if things go the way that it's going at the moment, you know, it speaks a lot of volumes, doesn't it? It just shows you how good Billy Gilmour really is. But like I said, you know, he's had a lot of good games. He's had that shaky game against Leicester City in the FA Cup, making good mistakes. Not bad mistakes, but good mistakes against Leicester City. Lampard is doing really well with Gilmour, I think. You know, he's giving him that little bit of a chance, then, you know, put him on the bench, give him a tryout in the FA Cup, and putting him, you know, he's experimenting really well with Gilmour. Is that rotation at his very, very early stage in his career, and I think that's really good. You don't want to give him so many games to a point where he just tires himself out and he doesn't deliver enough. That's way too early in his career. I think this is a good time to experiment with him, and Lampard is doing so well with Gilmour. So I couldn't ask for anything more. So yeah, 3-0 over Watford. Watford just came and did nothing. They definitely look like a relegation threatened team. You know, under Nigel Pearson, you know, they really are on the ropes. I guess you could say the same about West Ham, but, you know, they ended up beating us. So, you know, but like I said, it's all about the response, isn't it? It's all about the response to, you know, after a threatening 3-2 loss, to come back and get a victory after everybody's won. Leicester, United, okay, Arsenal beat Wolves 2-0, but it's still a good, positive win at the end of the day. And to all involved, fantastic. Defending was so much better today. Set pieces were better today because Zuma, much better than Rudiger. Rudiger needs to stay out of the starting 11. Zuma needs to start more. That's all I'm going to say. Zuma is 10 times better than Rudiger, and Zuma needs to start more. Simple as that. We proved today that Azpilicueta as well can do a great shift at left back. And Reece James, okay, although he did a bit of a slow performance, gradually got into the game with some great crosses. I couldn't ask for anything more from Reece James. So yeah, today, an overall fantastic performance. I couldn't ask for anything more from Chelsea today. Great response. And yeah, it really has picked me up after a very disappointing loss for the London Spitfire earlier against former employers and the Seoul Dynasty. So yeah, it really has definitely picked me up. So yeah, as we speak right now, not that you care about this, but I've got the Overwatch League Northern American Summer Showdown right now. So I'm completely missing that, courtesy of the football and me doing this review. But yeah, some really good games going on. If you probably don't care about it because you don't know anything about Overwatch League. But the thing is, I'm happy now. I'm pleased because Chelsea won. That's the most important thing. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. Subscribe to my other channel, Chris Smarter Games, if you haven't done so already. Check out all of my social media links that will be in the description box down below. And I hope you have a fantastic day. In the next game we go and face, I do believe, is against... I'm not really too sure. I think it's against Crystal Palace. Wednesday. Yes, Crystal Palace on the 8th of July at Selhurst Park. So that will be the next game. And then for the London Spitfire... No, we don't have... London Spitfire haven't got any games because they've been eliminated from the Summer Showdown, haven't they? So yeah, no games for them. But there'll be a Palace-Chelsea game coming this midweek, so hopefully we'll get a victory there. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. And until the next one, I shall see you later. Peace.